The meeting of the Navasota Planning and Zoning Commission for
January 12th, 2023. Before we have the invocation and pledge, I would encourage everybody to please put your cell phone on silence, please, and please rise. Deacon Holt, would you lead us in a word of prayer?
Our most Heavenly Father, we gather here together as a community to review what has been put before us. Let us open our minds, open our hearts, and discern this agenda. Let us make the right decisions that will not just benefit the city, but will benefit all those that live in our great city. We thank you for all the blessings you've bestowed on us, and we continue to go out and serve you all in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number 3. Do we have any remarks of visitors?
No, sir. I believe most of the people here are for the item itself on the agenda.
Okay.
So a form is not required.
So we will dispense with agenda item number 3, and that takes us to agenda item number 4. Conduct a public hearing for the purpose of receiving public comment and testimony regarding a zoning change application submitted by Cross Trails Development, LLC for the property located in the A0055-0 D. Tyler Abstract, adjacent to Pecan Lakes Estates Phase 2. The zoning change application requests to change the zoning from AO Agricultural Open Space District to Pecan Grove Estates PUD, a planned unit development for the development of a 35.13 acre single dwelling unit subdivision. The property affected is legally described as A0055-0 D. Tyler, Tract 4 acres 35.13, located in Navasota, Grimes County, Texas 77868. And we will call the public hearing opened at 6:05. Lupe?
Mr. Chairman, Planning and Zoning Commission, good evening. So to briefly summarize, as you've already stated, Cross Trails Development submitted a zoning change application for 35 acres. The project applicant is Brandon Goodite. He's actually here in the audience today for any of those that have any questions about the project. But just to summarize, this 35 acres was annexed into the city early last year. When a property is annexed into the city, it is automatically designated a agriculture open space zone, and it's been the case, or the property has been zoned as such until today. Now that it's being petitioned to change. So the proposed change is for a planned unit development, which is basically a custom zone that is drafted to fit the needs of the development that's proposed. So in this situation, Cross Trails is proposing a residential development very similar to Pecan Lakes. Matter of fact, the PUD language, or the planned unit development language that was used for Pecan Lakes is very similar to the one in your packet tonight for this project. It's a single family only subdivision with minimum lot sizes of, I believe it's 6,000 square feet. So it matches phase 3 and phase 4 of Pecan Lakes. There's a little minor engineering differences. They're requesting some modifications to street crowns and things of that nature, but those are really technical things that are not really visible to the public eye, unless you're an engineer and you're out there with a measure or a level. But overall, it's pretty similar to Pecan Lakes in the sense that it's only for single family homes. And based on the acreage and based on the minimum lot size, it's approximated it'll be around 130. Of course, that's gonna either increase or decrease depending on how much parkland makes it to the final plat. And again, this is the first step in the process. This changes the zone from ag to what they're proposing if it's approved. And then the next steps will be the plat, which lays out the lots, the streets, and that'll come at a later meeting. And like I said, Brandon Goodite is here tonight if y'all have any questions, and as well as anyone from the public. This is a public hearing, so it's open to anyone that has any questions or comments.
Brendan, do you have anything you want to add to what Lupe said?
May I approach?
Yes, please.
It's sometimes scary when you're the only thing on the agenda, so I didn't know how to approach this tonight. But, not a whole lot. I think my partners and I just are coming in to just compliment already what Mr. Hassel and what is already there at Pecan Lakes. And we have two builders that we have selected that we've got great relationships. One being Stylecraft, which is already in Pecan Lakes. The other is Ranger Homes, which again is probably a little bit on the higher end of the entry-level home. We do have a little bit more heavier restrictions that we put in place as far as different elevations and building materials that we are putting on our builders up front, especially from the proximity standpoint. And that's really about it. I mean, we're excited to be a part of it. I think it's a great community. We've all looked at it. Actually, we're looking at it with Mr. Hassel previously on his phase 4 to do that for him, but it changed otherwise. So we're excited to be where we are and just look forward to be a part of Navasota and the community that's here.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the public who would like to comment on this? If you would, please step to the podium, state your name and your address for the record.
Hi, I'm Maureen Yorick. We live out at Pecan Lakes, and I just had a couple of questions, I guess mainly for the developer, and just kind of wanting the idea of about what the price point is going to be on the lots and the homes. Is it similar to Pecan Lakes, or where are we going to be on that?
Yes, it will be very similar. Most of the price point will probably, just with materials in the price range, will probably be in the upper 200s to low 300s, and maybe even the mid 300s at some point as we go through there. I think as we get, we're breaking up the 3 phases. Originally, we just thought 2, but I think just because of absorption and just some of the changes, obviously, with the economy and not knowing what that is, our builders felt more comfortable with each taking down point. But I think entry-wise will probably be in that very similar price point that you're seeing in the Pecan Lake section.
And you said 6,000 square foot lots? Is that,
Lots are good.
where will the entrance be for that?
Well, we've got multiple, so there is 2 planned entrances through the commercial section, which we do not own right now. So we've got an agreement in place with Paul Hammock, who's running our commercial section, that has 2 entrances off of there, and then we'll also have 2 entrances coming off of the road. So there'll be really 4 different entrances through there, and then I think 2 additional.
So will Eagle View be opened up to this part?
Lupe, Eagle View. I'm trying to remember.
Yes, so Birdie Court will extend north as well as Eagle View, and they will both tee into another roadway. And then it'll be very similar to, if you think about Lynx and Bunker, how they run east to west, that's kind of how the grid is expanded north of there too. So there'll be another 2 blocks, or 3 blocks basically, between 105 and Pecan Lakes. And there's also still a commercial acreage that was cut out originally, that there'll be an additional buffer between 105 and the subdivision. So yeah, those.
So there will be a main road coming from where the commercial, where they're talking about the convenience store coming back toward Eagle View. That'll be like a main road there.
Well, it won't be direct, so it'll actually be a different name street, because Eagle View will tee into another road that's running east to west, and then that road makes a bend and goes up to 105. So there'll be multiple entrances to the project. I mean, right now all we have is a concept plan. I wish I could show it on the screen, but I'm having issues with the projector.
Yeah.
But there'll be 2 entrances off of the new paved road that I'm sure all of y'all have seen already, that goes out to 105. So the project will have 2 roads that connect to it, and then there'll be 2 roads off of 105. So there'll be 4 ways to get into this part of the project from those roads.
And so this will be a part of Pecan Lakes. It won't be a separate subdivision. It will be all part of Pecan Lakes, is that right?
It's all, we're viewing it as a part of the Pond Lake, but I mean, technically, I don't know, we haven't had that discussion, but we're calling it the Pond Grove of the Pond Lake.
'Cause, you know, like, for example, whenever we get our HOA together, when we get it going, like, will these homes be part of our HOA, or is that gonna be something completely different?
Well, so the city requires an HOA to be formed. However, I don't know if Cross Trails is gonna try to make that contact with the current developer to have it all under one HOA, or it'll be a separate HOA. That's, I guess, to be discussed as we move through the design phase.
So that'll be decided later.
Unless that conversation's already been had
I
by,
haven't had that conversation. Oh, Jim, does Jim run that, Mr. Hassel?
yeah, currently, yes, sir.
That's also, that's a conversation I'll probably have.
Yeah, because that's who you bought
If there's
from.
ability to do so, that may be the best option for us up front, instead of having our own little sub-community HOA.
Yeah.
We are gonna be in that 130, 140 homes up front there, so it may be best just to be, combined HOA, between the two sections.
Right, okay. Let me see if, and definitely no apartments, though.
No, ma'am.
Single, okay.
No problem.
That's the main thing, that was my main question.
Been a rumor. Must have been a rumor.
Okay.
I'm sure. Every time.
Okay, I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen.
Questions?
Anyone else? You almost got together and gave her the questions to ask. All right. Anybody else have any questions for the developer? If not, we will close this public hearing at 6:14 PM. Do what, Tom?
No, I don't have any public
Oh, okay.
questions.
And that brings us to agenda item number 5, consideration and possible action on a zoning change application submitted by Cross Trails Development LLC for the property located in the A0055-0 D. Tyler Abstract adjacent to Pecan Lakes Estates, Phase 2. The zoning change application requests to change the zoning from AO Agriculture Open Space District to Pecan Grove Estates PUD, a planned unit development for the development of a 35.13 acre single dwelling unit subdivision. The property affected is legally described as A0055-0 D. Tyler Tract 4 acres 35.13, located in Navasota, Grimes County, Texas 77868.
Lupe, am I correct in that we are only discussing the zoning change and not the actual PUD, definition of the PUD?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, the zoning change is the PUD, but I guess the standards of the PUD.
The standards of the PUD are included. It's not just zoning AO to PUD. It's accepting the
Oh, yes.
terms of this PUD.
Correct, yeah, so in your packet, you have the PUD standards.
Yeah,
Labeled as
okay.
Exhibit A, so all of that will be the new zoning PUD. Yeah, aside from 3B, the street cross sections, everything else is pretty much exactly the same as Pecan Lakes.
You said 3D?
3B.
3B, where they're changing the peak of the street
Yeah,
by half a degree.
Instead of this, it'll be this,
Okay.
the crown of the street. And we verified that with our engineering firm, and actually most cities have a standard of 2%. Anytime you get any higher than 3, then, people walking in the middle of the street will do this.
Right.
While you have sidewalks.
Yeah, and a lot of times you want it flatter, so it just depends. It's just a design standard.
Okay.
But we were comfortable making that transition from the previous phases.
And fire chief is okay with the changes in cul-de-sac length and number of residents?
Correct, yeah, especially for this project, there was really only one cul-de-sac, and it was under it wasn't as an exaggerated long cul-de-sac, so yeah, they were comfortable with everything.
I make a motion we approve the zoning change application submitted by Cross Trails Development LLC for the property located at the A0055-0D Tyler Abstract adjacent to Pecan Lakes Estates Phase 2. Zoning change application request to change the zoning from AO Agriculture Open Space District to Pecan Grove Estates PUD, a planned unit development for the development of a 35.13 acre single dwelling unit subdivision of property affected is legally described as A0055-0D Tyler, Tract 4, acres 3513, located in Navasota, Grimes County, Texas, 77868.
Kind of run out
Can-
of steam there.
Can
I know, I'm losing.
Can I ask another question of Lupe before we?
Oh, yeah.
So you started to make a comment about the park land?
All of those other design elements, especially like the parkland, where it's going to go, the layout of the streets, what's in your packet is just a concept drawing, but all of that is going to be ironed out with the preliminary plat review and submittal before the board and to staff. And so we've actually already had that conversation with Brandon about the parkland. And just running the ballpark figures based on 130 lots, what that would be acreage-wise, and he's aware of all his different options.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about the fee in lieu of being written into the PUD?
No. So the way the PUD works is anything that's not addressed in the PUD means that it has to meet the current standard, which
Okay.
that's why there is no parkland language.
Okay.
If, in the future, depending on how the final plat lays out, depending on the lot count, he'll have several options, either a variance or a fee in lieu of, or actually just building the requirements.
And you keep saying 130 acres, but yet on this one it says 130 houses. And then on this, at the very top here on A, it says 147. So what are we talking about?
The current layout is 146, contingent on the plat.
So why do we keep saying 130?
Oh, that's just an
130
estimated,
plus.
that's just an estimated number, and that's why that even says plus or minus 147. But that, we'll probably clean that up, by the time it gets to council for
Okay.
an actual ordinance.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Copeland to approve the zoning change.
I'll second.
A second from Dr. Walla. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none, the motion carries. And that brings us to consideration and possible action on approval of the meeting minutes for October 27th, 2022 and December 8th, 2022. Gosh, it's been that long since we met. Oh, wow.
Decided here. I think those are all double-sided. Are you double-sided? Yeah, right.
No, I printed them off.
Oh, okay. So whatever paper you want.
We'll sign this one.
I make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
We have a motion from Commissioner Copeland to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
A second from Commissioner Hancock. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and we'll adjourn this meeting at 6:21 PM.